my friends, sit closer if you dare. I am old now, old man with many winters behind me, and yet some memories refuse to fade. Tonight I shall tell you a tale of danger and darkness from a time long past. A story that still haunts the corners of my mind even after all these years. Before we begin, if you wish to hear more of my perilous adventures, subscribe and I shall share others, each darker than the last. It was many years ago, when I was but a boy, barely on the edge of manhood. My father, a stern and rugged man, was fond of the wilderness, of forests deep and unyielding, of nights where the moon dared not show itself fully. Every summer he would drag me into those woods, insisting I learn the ways of nature, of survival, and I, foolish and defiant, despised every moment, the mud, the biting insects, the nights where the earth beneath me felt sharper than a dagger's edge. I endured it all. Yet that summer something unusual occurred. My father allowed me to bring a companion, a fellow lad named Charles, a brave, skilled boy who knew how to tame fire and pitch a tent without it collapsing into ruin. At first, I thought his presence might worsen my misery, but, strangely, he was steady. His humor lightened the gloom, though I could not help but feel a sense of foreboding, as though the forest itself whispered of coming dread. We arrived at our campsite, expecting the solitude of the wild, only to find a place ill-fated from the start. A village of conveniences, they called it. Paved paths, structured tents, even laughter from children echoing across the clearing. Not the forest I knew. Yet, as evening fell, something unnatural stirred in the shadows. Charles and I shared a tent that night. We spoke in whispers, our voices swallowed by the rustling leaves. I noticed the glint of something in his Handa small pipe, the smoke curling like ghostly fingers in the air. But that was not the source of fear. No. The terror came from beyond the edge of our campfire's glow. A figure moved, silent, crouched, watching. A man, disheveled, clothed in tatters, and a face smeared with a dark liquid that reflected the faint moonlight. Blood, perhaps, or something far worse. My heart hammered as he vanished into the trees, yet the dread lingered, curling around my chest like a serpent. Morning brought no relief. Rumors traveled faster than the wind. A man had been slain by the lake, mere miles from our camp, and the killer roamed free. Charles and I exchanged glances, knowing we had come too close to true evil, and yet we remained silent, as if the air itself forbade us from speaking. Days passed, but I could not forget. Shadows followed my every step, even within the mundane. That night I ventured further into the woods, alone this time, seeking courage, or perhaps foolish curiosity. The wind whispered secrets, leaves rustled with unseen movements, and then I saw him again, the same figure crouching beneath the skeletal branches of an ancient oak. His eyes gleamed, not with malice alone, but with intelligence, awareness, and I knew then I was not merely an observer. I was a part of his game. Charles and I devised a plan, as young minds often do, reckless, daring, and utterly foolish. We crept into the ruins of a nearby village, seeking vantage atop the old watchtower. Every step echoed like a drum of warning. The moon carved long, crooked shadows, and the air was thick with the scent of rot and decay. From our perch we could see him move among the trees, hunting, waiting The forest itself seemed alive, bending and twisting to hide him from view, and yet he sought us with patience only a predator could possess. Hours passed, each one a lifetime. I recall the cold biting through my cloak, the ache of my limbs as I remained motionless. Charles whispered tales of knights and monsters, his voice trembling, trying to pierce the thick shroud of fear, and I prayed to whatever gods would listen, to grant us safety, to grant me the strength to endure the night. Finally, the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, pale and trembling. The figure vanished into the mist, leaving behind a silence so profound it deafened. We descended from the tower, shaken, our limbs weak but our resolve stronger, and yet I knew this was but the first of many nights I would recall his presence. Time passed. We returned to our homes, to the mundane safety of hearth and stone. Yet the memory lingered, gnawing at me like a shadow I could not banish. And as the years drew on, I came to understand one truth. The forest, the darkness, and the beings that dwell within are patient. They wait, and they remember. Now I am an old man, and I speak of these things not for the thrill, but as warning. The woods have secrets, and some secrets are alive, with thoughts and malice as sharp as any blade. If you value your life, heed my words. And if you wish to hear of others, of nights darker than this, of creatures that walk where the light cannot reach, you know what to do.